Gotta edit that out.
Greetings, friends. It's Josh.
And I'm Ryan.
And we are here today for another exciting episode on another exciting Friday for the Dead Tired Dads podcast. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Josh.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
That's good to hear. So, I don't know what it is, but my son has a fascination with shoes.
Okay.
He's like, ever since he's been able to like crawl, he's like found shoes and like immediately like at first it was just like, oh, here's a shoe, and it's immediately pick up, shove in mouth. And it's like, no, stop! Like, don't eat shoes.
Don't do that.
That is bad for you. And like, he gets thrush all the time, and I blame the shoe eating.
It's the shoe's fault.
But more recently, he's discovered that that people actually wear shoes, that like they go on people's feet.
That's what they're for.
But he won't put them on his own feet, and we've tried to put him in his own shoes. And at the recording of this podcast, they just feel uncomfortable to him.
Yeah, he doesn't like
he
the-
just like he
yeah.
doesn't like the way they feel, and so he doesn't like he like just stops and tries to like pull them off. But other people's shoes, he has found a phenomenal application for
Oh boy.
in putting them on his hands,
Yep.
and not just like, you know, but like not just like on his hands, but like his whole arm. Like he will get my shoes and just stick his whole arms into, so it looks like his entire arm is just one of my shoes.
Yeah, it's because the length of his arm.
Yes. And so, you know, there's the movie, you know, Edward Scissorhands.
Yes.
It's like Edward Shoe Hands
Edward
walking
Shoe
around
Hands.
like trying to, you know, and he'll get his sister. My daughter has these boots that he likes.
Yep.
That he'll get his hands into and shove in, and like so the boots go up to his elbow, and he's just got, and he like try to clap his hands with
Yep.
the boots. Yeah. So my daughter never did stuff like that, but this has just been a fascinating thing. Like, and you can tell, like in looking at him, like I was talking to him today, and I was like, son, you have to like you don't put those on your hands. They go on your feet.
Nope.
They go on your feet, son. And he like kind of looked at me, and you can tell he's kind of like he pulls his hands out, and I'm like pointing at my foot, and you can tell the wheels are turning.
He's
in his
thinking
head,
about it.
But he's like, nope, hands back in the shoe.
I like it my way.
So, yeah, no, just a weird fascination with shoes. I don't know. And for the most, later on, I guess I found him trying to put my shoe in his mouth again. But,
I find it fascinating that, so we both have two kids. I find it fascinating how, like, two kids with the same parents can be so different.
sure.
So you mentioned that your daughter never did that, but now your son is doing that, and it's like you don't know what to do because, like, I have some experience as a parent, but not with this. So
Right.
what do I do? And it's so we kind of had the same thing. Our first son, he would put anything and everything in his mouth, like anything he got his hands on, straight to his mouth, and that's not uncommon for
Right.
for you know.
No, my son
Littles.
does. My son does that. with
Lots of kids do that.
everything.
It's very common. Our second son never did that.
Lucky you.
He's 3 years old, and he just started putting his hands in his mouth.
Wow.
I've never seen him put anything in his mouth until maybe a couple weeks ago, and it's just the weirdest thing. And it's only his hands.
Huh.
It's not toys, not shoes, nothing. It's just his hands. And I'm just like, son, get your hands out of your mouth. Stop doing that. So it's just weird. Like, why does one kid do it and not the other? Where do they get this from? I don't know.
Well, yeah. Well, and one of the things is like for my kids anyway. Like my daughter, like, so my daughter was like 11 months old and wasn't crawling. Like she didn't start crawling
right.
until 11 months old. My son was crawling at like 5
Right
or
away.
6 months, and like it's like, whoa, like
stop it.
like so it's that completely changes the parenting experience because
Yep.
it's like if I have a kid that I can just sit down and know that they're just gonna be there,
Yeah.
like I can still go off and do things.
Right.
Like and like you're gonna sit. Like she could roll, but like she wasn't like
Yeah.
moving a whole lot. So I was just like, here, you sit here. I'm gonna, I can play a video game or, watch a TV show or whatever.
Right.
Like with my son, like when he's like.
Nope.
He's moving around. He's ready to go. It's like I have like this is constant supervision, and like when he starts walking at 11 months, as opposed to like,
Not
and
fair.
and honestly, he should have been walking much earlier, or could have been walking much earlier. I think because he's weird. I think like I don't know like.
Because all kids are. Remember
Right.
we've discussed.
We talked about how all kids are weird. But, like, he's weird in this way. Like, he's already picked up this thing of, like, not wanting... It feels like he doesn't want to embarrass himself.
Huh.
Like, he's barely over a year old.
Yeah.
And I already feel like he's, like... I want to make sure that when I do something, I know I can do it.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm pretty sure that, like, at 9 months... he was like able to like stand up and walk.
He just
like,
didn't want to.
I am almost certain
Yeah.
that he could do this. But he was unsure of himself and didn't want to fall over.
Right.
So when he finally did start walking at like 11 or 12 months, he's like I'm confident, I've got this, and he's just up and walking.
Here I go. Yeah.
So that cuz he never did like the whole like stand up and teeter.
Yep.
And, like, I don't feel like and maybe he did, and I'm just not remembering. Like, that's another part of being a dead, tired dad. Like, some things you just forget.
It all
like,
runs together.
I don't remember him doing a whole lot of, like, the stand up, like, kind of wobble and, like, hold himself up. Like, he would cruise a lot. Like, so he'd stand up and, like,
along the side of the couch.
Right.
Yeah.
But, like, he never did the whole, like, stand up, free and, like, huh?
Maybe.
And then fall on his butt. Like I don't
Yep.
like I don't remember seeing that happen a ton.
Yeah.
And like when he like taking his first steps and stuff like that, it was never like this like I'm doing it and like get like speed up too fast and fall over.
Right.
It really felt like it was like overnight, like I'm up, I'm walking.
Right.
And so like and that's just how like I don't know. So maybe he got that from me, that fear of failure and not wanting to like disappoint people. I don't know, but but Edward Shoehands is not afraid to walk now, but he doesn't walk on his hands. But he probably could.
But he does wear shoes on his hands.
He wears shoes on his hands.
Our oldest son never did the on the hands thing. But he just, like, as probably around the same age, he thought it was hilarious to put on my wife's shoes on his feet. So then he's, like, walking around the house in these shoes that are way too big for him. And he's tripping over every 2 steps. And because kids are weird.
Yep, kids are weird.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just a fact of life. Kids are weird, as we've discussed.
True.
So, why don't we move into our reviews this week?
All right.
Ryan? What have you got?
Want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
All right. So, I played a game called Conan Exile.
So, is this question...
Hit me.
Before you get too far into this. Is this about Conan O'Brien being kicked off of NBC?
Exactly. It's exactly that.
Because that would be phenomenal for, that's a little joke there.
No, it is not Conan O'Brien.
That's too bad. That would be funnier.
So,
I assume that it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Conan the Barbarian.
It is that sort of Conan the Barbarian.
Okay.
Everything about the description of this game is something that I should like.
Okay.
So, the game is described as a survival / city building game.
Okay.
So, you start out, you create a character, and you are a barbarian. You're just sort of wandering in the desert, and you have to... Basically, there's all these other barbarians, and there's nearby armies, and you have to survive. And so you start out, someone rescues, without giving anything away, someone rescues you, you're about to be crucified.
Okay.
And someone rescues you, gets you down off the crucifix, and then essentially tells you, good luck, it's a rough one out there. So
sucks to be.
Yeah, sucks to be you. Good luck.
You should have just gone ahead and died. It would have been better for you.
So the whole thing is like you have to sort of craft tools and weapons. You can find other both other like actual other players, other people playing the game, and you can find NPC, non-playable character. And sort of team up with them and build cities together or it's not really cities, but build towns, fortresses, ways to survive easier. So I love survival games.
Right.
I love them. I've done a couple of them in previous episodes. I love survival games. I enjoy city building games as well. I should like this game.
Sounds like it.
But I don't.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. And the reason why I don't, I'm sure I could try again, but the reason why I don't is I probably played this game for, I'm going to say, 3 hours.
Okay.
I couldn't figure out what the heck to do. There was no tutorial to explain anything. There's I fumbled around with it and figured out how to craft a hammer, but by the time I figured it out on my own, I got killed by some computer generated enemy and lost everything, because if you die you lose everything and you sort of start back at your last quote save point, which for me was the beginning of the game.
Oh my gosh.
So
you played for 3 hours and died and there wasn't a save point in there?
Well, I played for 3 hours total.
Oh, okay.
But within that 3 hours, never once did I get told how to do anything.
Gotcha.
And I don't. When I play video games, I don't want my hand to be held. I don't want to be just guided along.
Right.
But I do need to know how to play the game. That's kind of essential.
Right. Well, and we talked about, for back, I guess it was our Christmas episode where we had the kind of the throwbacks. We talked about Stuntman.
Yes.
And how that game, really didn't tell you anything, how to, but it still ended up being once you figured it out, it ended up being fun.
Right.
But it was it's easy enough to figure out. I mean, if you because the first level is or the game works in the way that you just have to play the same thing over and over again until you figure it out.
Yeah.
So that works in that game's favor. It sounds like in this, it's just a frustration.
Yeah.
Because, so developers out there, if you're you need a good tutorial at the beginning of your game.
I mean, something, even if it's 5 minutes to just tell. I didn't even know what buttons did what.
Yeah.
So, and I imagine that if I push through that and keep playing and get to a point where I understand how to play the game, I imagine it'd be pretty fun. But there's complex menus and crafting systems, which I'm sure you need because it's a survival game.
Right.
But if I don't know how to use them, it's
yeah.
I'm not going to learn how to use them because I open this menu and it's so complex that it's just I'm done.
Part of my experience with things like that is I often don't end up using crafting systems because I don't feel like any game ever explains the crafting system well enough to me.
Yeah.
So if the game is completely based around crafting things and it doesn't explain how to do it, then I am definitely going to be completely lost. There's in a Cyberpunk, there was a crafting system that I would rarely use.
Yep. Because
I had so much crap anyway that I was getting weighed down and couldn't walk.
Yeah.
But also, I didn't understand that. Oh, I could craft things. It didn't go through that I could. It didn't explain it well enough. That I was like, oh, and once I realized I could craft pistol ammo, my entire world changed. I was like, Oh my goodness, I can use my favorite weapon even though I'm at like I can't,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. So I mean, I really can't like review the game in the sense that we normally do because like I can't. I mean, I'm sure it's not I'm sure it's violent and gory, just based on the opening scene. But I really can't tell you like how long it takes or if you can.
Well, apparently it takes 3 hours to know that it's
My
not a
breaking
good
point
game.
was 3 hours. I mean, like I saw the description of it and I was like, I love those games. I love survival games, but nah, just
Okay.
I can't.
So Conan in Exile?
Conan Exiles.
Just Conan Exiles.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I mean the gist of it is like you are a Conan-like figure trying to survive, and you.
So part of me is thinking, like I'm just spitballing here, but with a name like Conan Exiles, you could make a Conan O'Brien video game that I think would be better than what you're describing.
I'm very confident that it would be better. Yes.
Hashtag Conan O'Brien.
Wait a minute. I'm not like I'm familiar with his show, but I don't watch it regularly.
Right.
Is it him or is it someone else? Doesn't he have a segment where he like plays video games with people?
He did at one point.
Oh man, this
did
is
at one
all
point, yeah.
coming together.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but like it's a guy who's on his staff who's like actually good at video games. And
Yeah.
like he tries to get Conan to play.
Yeah.
It's like Bad Video Gamer or something like that. I don't remember. He hasn't had that segment in several years. I don't
okay.
think so. Because he changed his show up and he doesn't even have a show anymore. I don't think officially. It's like an online thing,
Oh, okay.
podcast or something. So anyway, hashtag Conan O'Brien. Everyone tag, like if you're listening to this episode,
Yeah.
you should repost it tagging Conan O'Brien.
Oh yeah.
Because we're mentioning Conan O'Brien quite a bit.
That reminds me of something totally random that's unrelated, but since I don't have a game to talk about, I'll just talk about this. I just wanted to say something cool that's been happening to us the past few weeks. Gamefly, if you're familiar with Gamefly, the service that lets you sort of
Rent games
and keep
Yeah.
them as long as you want, they have been retweeting our episodes.
That's awesome. Thank
So-
you, Gamefly.
They did not pay us to say this. I'm just totally saying it randomly because I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Like, they obviously have a much larger audience than us.
You're right.
And they've been.
And that's awesome. That's very cool.
So if you're hearing this because you were like, what's this random podcast that Gamefly retweeted? Thank you for stopping by and listening.
We really appreciate that. And so hashtag Gamefly as well.
I don't have a game to review, so let's just like schlep our show.
Also, this episode is brought to Dollar Shave Club. I should
Oh, man.
all the unofficial sponsorships out there.
All these people had no idea they were sponsoring our show, by the way. That's how sponsorships work, isn't it?
Oh man, I'm broken now. You broke me, Ryan. Oh no, man, I love Dollar Shave Club though.
Oh, God.
Oh, we have fun, don't we, Ryan?
The funny thing is, Josh is not kidding because we've talked about Dollar Shave Club, not like away from this podcast and off the air,
Off
so
air,
to speak.
yeah. We talked about Dollar Shave Club needing to sponsor us. That's why that's a joke.
So, yeah.
Anyway, because we're both balding men.
Yeah, we gotta have those razors.
We gotta have razors. So thank you, Dollar Shave Club. Hashtag DSC.
I think I know what the title of this episode's going to be.
Oh man. Okay. Well, before we get into any more hysterics here, woo. Okay, this has been good. Ryan, thank you for bringing us a great video game review.
Glad I could review nothing and try to, like said, schlep our show.
Oh man. Well, so I need some background. I'll go ahead and move into my review.
Good.
And I'll give some background. If you've been listening to this podcast for any length of time, or if you've gone back to listen to any of our older episodes, you'll remember that when it's spring and summer, or not, I guess not spring because we haven't released any episodes in the spring, but when it's lawn mowing season.
Oh, yes.
Josh has a lot of stories, or Josh ends up with a lot of stories about cutting his grass, because that's what you do as a homeowner. You have to take care of things outside of your home. And in that spirit, I decided to play a game that would give me the experience of what it would be like to be someone who is paid to cut someone else's grass.
Because it's winter time and you just miss mowing the lawn so much.
Absolutely. So I want to talk about a game. Believe it or not, it's out there.
It's real.
It's a real game. Lawnmower Simulator.
Sorry, I laughed. Say the title again.
Lawnmower Simulator.
Oh my gosh.
Now, you would think that with a name like Lawnmower Simulator, there would be a lot of laughter involved in playing the game.
I would think, yeah.
You would think so. There is not.
Oh, what a letdown.
This game is very much a very serious game.
This episode is just off the rails.
Oh man. Oh gosh.
Of all the things I thought you were going to say about Lawnmower Simulator, I did not think you were going to say it's very serious.
So
thought.
like here's the thing. You start off the game and you have to make your character. And you have to and then you have to name your company. And you have to come up with a logo. And then you have to buy equipment. You have to test and buy equipment. You have to determine.
Wow.
You've gotten a business loan to start your business. And you have to determine what equipment you're going to buy.
Man alive.
So you have a tutorial, which...
Oh, hey, well, they got something going for them.
You're already ahead of Conan Exiles. But then you get your character, and you would think with a name like Lawnmower Simulator, you would be on the lawnmower when you start.
Yep.
But no.
Nope.
You're outside your truck that has a trailer on it, and you have to go get your lawnmower.
Of course.
Off the trailer. So you have to climb up on the trailer, back your lawnmower out. But before you can back your lawnmower out, what do you got to do? You got to crank it up, baby.
Oh my.
So you got to crank your lawnmower up, then you got to put it in gear, and you got to back it out. And then you're ready to cut grass, right?
Nope.
You got to engage the blades, baby.
And, oh wow, they took Simulator to the max.
And then you got to cut the grass.
Wow.
And then you can't just like cut the grass. Like this is a serious job. You got to cut the grass. You got to make sure you cut it all, and it's got to be even.
Listen, you got a business to support. You got to be serious about cutting these lawns.
So I played through the tutorial of Lawnmower Simulator, and I was like, okay, maybe it gets better. I go to and then it goes to a map, and you have your options of jobs to pick from.
Okay.
So you pick your map, and guess what you got to do? Get out of your truck. You got to pick up your weed eater. And then you got to walk around the yard looking down. Not even looking at the yard. You're not even able to look around. And if you cut the flowers, God forbid.
Oh my god.
Docking your pay, baby.
You're not getting paid for that job.
Yeah. So you got to be careful. And then you got to cut the grass. And you got to cut all the grass. Or you're not done with the job and you won't get paid.
Yep.
Guess how far I got in this game, Ryan?
Did you finish one lawn?
I didn't even finish the first job. So, okay, like I don't know what these people were thinking when they made the game Lawnmower Simulator. But with a name like this goes back to like I talked about a couple weeks ago with Wreckfest. With a name like Wreckfest, there's certain things that you would just expect to happen.
Yes.
And there are certain things that happened in that game that were fun. But with a name like Lawnmower Simulator, you're not expecting a serious game in which you are trying to level up your player and expand your business to where you're hiring out people. Like, no, I wanted a goofy game in which I had to like do stupid stuff to cut people's yards. And it was going to be easy and stupid and fun. But no.
Not so much.
This game takes itself way too seriously for what it is. I don't know what their market was. Like, I don't know.
Who is this game for?
Who are they? I guess it's literally for people who just love cutting their grass, like, so
All
much.
4 people who love cutting their
Like,
grass.
who just absolutely love it, and so during the winter, they need their lawn mowing fix. This person is not Josh. Like, that is a fact. So yeah, Lawnmower Simulator. You got at least 3 hours worth of gameplay.
You got 10
I got
minutes.
maybe like 45. no, like it was like 45 minutes because like
Oh
the
my
first like
gosh.
it's like real time cutting grass. It's not even like you can, and because your engine will stall out if you go too fast.
Well, of course. I mean, what else would you expect?
It's like, what on earth? Yeah, so like it gives you the time, like on like the expected time frame on the job, and it's like 20 minutes. And it's like, how on earth am I supposed to enjoy a game in which I am spending my time just driving on a lawnmower? There's no goal other than to cut the grass.
Just to cut the grass.
And to do a good job cutting the grass, which is great if that's your actual job.
Man.
But for a video game, so I don't recommend this game unless you love cutting grass enough to do it virtually.
I feel like, just picturing this process, I feel like if it was me, about the time where I'm like creating like my logo and testing equipment, I would go, wait a minute. If I'm going to do that on a game, I'll just go do it in real life and actually make money. Because if I have to create a business, I'm going to go create a business.
Oh, and also you have to decide if your logo is going to be on the front of your shirt or on the back.
Naturally. How could you even play a lawn mowing game without that?
Like, I just, I don't know. Like, I'm not much on simulators in general.
Yeah.
I've played The Sims. I've played like Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Right.
Like, and that's what that's kind of what I'm expecting.
Yeah, I don't actually want to be like the CEO of Disney World. I want to pretend like it, and I want it to be very easy for me. I don't.
Exactly. It just is very tedious. However, one redeeming thing. Actually, 2. I've got 2 redeeming values. 1, it's free on Game Pass.
Because everything is.
So, if for anyone keeping track at home, this is 4 weeks in a row. I said at one point that I was going to do like the next 6 episodes. So like I'm at 4 in a row here. So that's one thing. The second redeeming value is that it has produced this episode, which is absolutely
This has been a great
This
episode.
has been amazing. You know, just 20 minutes of us cackling. If you need a laugh track.
I also feel like with as many games as you've done on Game Pass, I think I might be able to persuade my wife. Look at the value.
It's true. That is.
I think I should go buy an Xbox because I'll never have to ask to buy a game ever again. Just
I mean, you'll pay that subscription fee, but hey,
that's it.
I mean, that's cheaper than $60 a game.
Exactly.
So, oh man,
What a great episode.
this has been a phenomenal episode. At least for me, I've enjoyed
This
it.
has been amazing.
I've enjoyed it. So, what do you guys think? I mean, maybe you've played.
Can I tell you something funny?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is gonna sound so ridiculous.
else is
Despite
new?
everything you said,
Oh no!
I kind of want to go play Lawnmower Simulator. I know that's just ridiculous, but
That is a ridiculous notion. You should. I mean,
I couldn't even say it without laughing, but I'm so serious. Much like Lawnmower
man.
Simulator, I am very serious.
oh man. Well, hopefully people like the sound of our laughter.
Man, if they don't... Oh! I could be wrong, and if I am, you'll just edit this out and no one will know. I believe this is this episode 25 for us?
It's probably close to it.
I feel like it is.
So let's see. It'd be. Yeah, this is 25.
I think
You're
this is
right.
episode
You're right.
25.
It is episode 25. Congratulations to us.
Wow.
Episode 25. We've almost made it through half a year.
We have.
Wow. Go us. 25. We're a quarter of a century old in weeks.
So we made it to 25 episodes before we just started cackling uncontrollably and begging for sponsorships from people who are never going to listen to our show. It was a good run.
It's a good run. Oh man, I hope this episode gets like 10 listens. Oh man. So we have fun here, and this gives you guys an idea about like who we are as people. Like we are really just goofballs who like having fun and laughing. So don't play Lawnmower Simulator unless you want to, just spend 45 minutes of your time like figuring out that this is not a game that's worth 45 minutes of your time. That's basically what it boils down to. I came out better than Ryan, who played 3 hours until he realized that this is not worth it.
Don't play that one either.
So don't play Conan Exiles or Lawnmower Simulator. That's going to do it for this hilarious episode of the Dead Tired Dads podcast. You can follow us on Facebook, where we do less laughing, or on Twitter, where there might be more laughter, depending on if you've seen my videos of Cyberpunk, which we will keep bringing up until everyone in the world has seen them.
Must see.
So thanks again for listening. Tell us what you think, as I was trying to say earlier. Tell us what you think. Maybe you've played Lawnmower Simulator and I'm just out to lunch, and it actually, like, once you get into it, like, there actually is something of value there, and you just have to give it a chance. Like so many games that are actually good. But anyway, thanks for listening. We appreciate it. Hopefully you got to laugh along with us. If not, I'm sorry that you listened to this episode. So, thanks anyway.
Bye, everyone. That was an awesome episode. I don't care if anyone else enjoys it. That was the most fun episode we've recorded.